What's up, y'all? This is Bohemia with Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart Readings. Welcome back. Thank you for subscribing and sharing and commenting and watching. Please excuse my voice. I have a little bit of a cold. I'm going to try to talk louder. I'm very soft-voiced and soft-spoken and for the most part, and so it hasn't been, I don't know, with the upload it loses some audio and translation. I don't know what that is, so hopefully this sounds loud to me. Hopefully it'll be loud enough, and I will be getting a microphone and a different camera soon, so we'll fix that problem. But man, this new moon in Aries just whooped my butt. It was like new moon time, it was my moon time, it was like the baby had been sick and was just coming off of it a little bit, then I got sick. I didn't even know Saturday passed, y'all. I thought Sunday, like I was thinking it was Saturday and it was Sunday at 7 p.m. Like it wiped me out. So I was so glad that I got a lot of videos out the week before, because it's been a minute and I didn't get anything out that past week. So, but thank you for hanging around and for your messages and comments. And for those of you who are showing love on my Facebook, I do a lot of astrology on my Facebook and I have Instagram as well. So I'm kind of figuring out how I want to do things, and I have a website. That's going to be a little bit more time though. I'm taking my time on that. But so for now, if you really want to check out a lot of astrological information, I will be translating it into videos and messages here, and I will get back to doing lives, because I know that that is really how I started off this channel. Was a lot of lives. I will also be doing a lot more conversational chat pieces and things if you guys are interested, because I had another YouTube channel before I had this one, and it was a lot more of my practice and my altars and tarot deck reviews and all those kind of things. So let me know down below if you would like to see more elements of those kind of things here, because I'm planning on expanding and kind of showing everything that I do. I do many forms of divination. I have a lot of different series of pick-a cards and different topics that I want to do, so I'm very excited. I have some readings here ready to be filmed, and I have more ideas, and I keep a list. So even if you recommended something when I was on my hiatus a year ago, I have it on a list. So comment below if you have an idea of a pick a card that you would like to do. I've been asked about donations and tips, and I do have links below for PayPal me and for Cash App, and I have heard your request to get Venmo, so I'll be looking into getting the Venmo as well, okay? I'm sorry, I'm getting all these notifications. Hopefully you can't hear them. All right, so we are going into a simple card spread that I got out of this book, Tarot Spreads by Barbara Moore. It is one that I would recommend. I'm kind of picky about tarot books, but there's a few that I really like that I recommend to my students, and this is one of them. It's just really concise. Barbara Moore does a lot of tarot deck books, and it's just really accurate. There's big spreads, little spreads, the spreads as big as your head. No, what song is that? Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. That's what I was hearing in my head. That's from Lion King. Anyways, we have your options here. You might have skipped ahead already. That's okay. We have this really beautiful butterscotch seashell. We have this one that has some pink and like a little one that was growing on the side. We have, this is sea urchin spine actually, which is cool. We're using the mermaid tarot here. And we have, this is a conch shell there. So these are the options. The question, as you've probably seen, this is financially based, and money could be business, and it is asking, like, look at the situation and what matters and what doesn't. It's a quick 3-card to the punch, because sometimes our minds are too overloaded to get too much insight and information. Like, we're worried about our finances, so what do I need to worry about? What don't I? Let me hear it. So you can pick different options for different financial needs. That's absolutely okay. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And please drop your comment down below, show love in the comments, and share this with a friend if you think it will help. So hopefully you've had a lot of time to vibe into which deck or corresponding shelling creature that you connect with. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into it, okay? All right, I'm going to move this book. Let's get into number 1 with this beautiful butterscotch shell. Okay. Sorry, I'm like trying not to mix them up down here. Okay. So, number 1, your financial status. What is your situation? We have the Fool reversed. What is your, what matters, sorry. What matters is the Death reverse, the Death card reversed. And what doesn't matter is Ace of Pentacles reversed. So we got a lot of reversals in this, all reversals in this one. I'm going to zoom in so you can take a look at the cards. That is the Fool reversed, the Death card reversed, and the Ace of Pentacles reversed. The deck will be linked down below. So your situation here, now definitely what I'm seeing overall is needing to transition and move on and change is what's going on. And that's your main focus point. There's going to be things that you just have to let go of in this financial situation, and it could involve, you know, an item that is tied to those finances or a particular path. But with the Death reverse, it's like when you're kind of pumping your brakes on it, and you know that you need to just accelerate and like go through the intersection, right? Go through the crossroads and make it happen, let it happen. But it's like, no, but I don't want to because it's scary. And that's really what it's like, because over here, right, we have the staff with the bag, and she's ready to come out of the ocean. She's got her sparkly mermaid leggings on, ready to go into the future. But the situation is being afraid of that new start, being afraid of jumping in. So what matters in this case is letting go, because it's saying, you know, staying in this situation is toxic. I'm getting a new car for some of you. It could just even be something good, like you're needing to go and purchase a car, or, you know, do a payment plan for a car, because your old one is just like, it's toxic. Like you can't even ride in there. You can't put the kids in there. It's just not a good situation. Your transportation isn't working out, and it's time to move forward. Now, what you are not supposed to be worrying about, what matters, what doesn't matter, which is really ironic in a money reading, is putting down that down payment or dropping that money that you need to put down. So you guys might be wondering, like, you know, there could be all those kind of questions. Do I deserve it? Well, is this the right financial decision? Are people going to judge me for putting this money down? You might have fears about being able to continue down that path and do later payments. So this is saying, like, if this is a life-changing question for you or a path for you, you are meant to do it. Some of you, it's in regards to travel, like putting a booking down, or going ahead and purchasing like your visa or your I almost said PayPal, oh my gosh, wrong kind of visa, or your passport. That's what I mean. And it's just like, oh my gosh, but that's a whole lot of adventure. I don't know if I should do it, you know, really coming to that point. But it feels like this is something you've been thinking about for a long time. You've known that this is a part of your journey. You've known that this is something you need to do, and all this other stuff has really been weighing you down. Now, what I also see that doesn't matter at this time is I'm seeing debt. So some of you have, like, you know, debt collectors or something. Maybe it's something from like college or previous areas, and right now, like, your message is debt that you can't like handle, or you can't do anything to change. Some of you, it's medical bills. Okay, you had a very tough situation. Like you're supposed to be focusing on the road to recovery. You're supposed to be focusing on getting healthy and well, and as much as you can. So this is for those of you who maybe it's just like a payment that is just there, like it's just going to be there, and you know it's just going to be there, and they're just going to keep bothering you about it, but it's not imminent as far as you know, like paying 3 days or quit, you know what I mean? So it's like those kind of payments that you can let go from your mind, that you don't need to drag yourself and your whole personality and being for on the daily. It's really time to give yourself some space from those payments. Or some of you, you've just missed a payment. Some of you are very young, and so you're like, maybe you've missed your first payment, or you feel embarrassed that you can't always pay your month-to-month bill on your phone. And so that's like your message is those aren't things to worry about. If you can't make a payment right away, or if things have to be delayed, or if there's some, you know, past debt that is not, you know, it's not affecting anything currently, try not to carry that with you, right? Because the universe is trying to get you into the Fool energy, right? She just got her little bag, her little money bag, look, of what she can do, and she's trying her best. She's trying to, you know, better herself and get out of all of this, you know, muck and gunk, and, you know, help others as she goes along and do the best that she can. And it's like, that's what matters, is that you are on a path of trying to better your situation. So if you sit there and think about every time that you've made a mistake, every time a check bounced, every time, you know, something, you know, the phone company trumped you up some charges that were ridiculous, and now you know, it's hanging on your credit score somewhere way back. It's like, stop worrying about that, okay? If it's out of your hands right now, don't worry about it. I'm sure at a different time you will address that in your financial health, but right now it is not doing anything but making you feel less healthy financially, okay? So I hope this helps you. Just a little snapshot, a little quick what to focus on, what not to focus on, and congratulations on your new path. I hope you go into it and feel supported moving into it, because here they're just saying stop pumping the brakes, go ahead, let this transition happen. All right. Okay, so maybe I'll see you on another reading if you picked another one. If not, like, share, subscribe, and comment, please, and I'll see you on the next video. Okay, so for those who chose number 2, we have this pretty shell with that little baby growth shell on the side. So what is your situation financially? We have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. We definitely have some students on this one. What matters right now? We have the Knight of Wands. Okay. Okay, I see you, boo. And what does not matter? We have the Six of Cups. All right, so some of you definitely might have chosen 1 or 2, because I can see a few similarities throughout, but there are some differences. So what your situation right now is trying to, like, you're definitely on the path of learning things financially, but you might have taken a break. So you might have really been like, okay, like, I'm going to get my career, I'm going to do this, I'm going to learn about 401ks, I'm going to take economics. You know, you had all of these money plans, but now you're stopping doing that perhaps, or maybe you are just kind of overwhelmed and distracted with other things, and it's hard to keep up with a good financial health and, you know, good payments and things of that nature. Now, what matters most and what you're supposed to focus on is we have the Knight of Wands. So you are supposed to be focusing, especially if you're younger or returning to college or actively switching your career path, you are supposed to be focusing more on a new path and your passions, and like creating even your own business. The Knight of Wands is very much an entrepreneur. Like, he's like, he will do a taco truck. He will be like, okay, I'm gonna go on the road and, you know, sell my mixtapes, or it doesn't have to be that unstable, but it can be that unstable because it's the Knight of Wands. But it's about really thinking on your feet and using your own passion and kind of using yourself to bring in your income by, you know, you just fall into it because it's what you do and who you are. You know what I mean? Like, some people, you're just like, how are you a traveling musician and you can sustain yourself and you're not even like, you know, you don't even have like 1 million followers. This is that kind of energy where you follow your passion and the universe takes care of you for doing that. So I definitely see similarities and yet differences between 1 and 2. Now, what doesn't matter in this case is they're saying the past, right? So some of you, I definitely see some of you in school that want to change up your class schedule or your entire study path, and you might be really worried about that because of funding that you've gotten, or like, okay, well, I've already, you know, wasted 2 years tuition on this path, and now I realize this is absolutely, like, I don't want to be an accountant. I want to go and pursue a different passion, or learn how to own my own business. And so you might be really worried, and you might also be worried because of classmates or, you know, people who do a similar career path as you. You might be like, okay, like, I'm going to just run off and do my own thing now. What about all this work I've done in the past? What about all of these connections of other people? What are people going to say? I even see this for those of you who have been doing spiritual business, and you're starting to realize that the differences that you experienced in your growth path of your business, why it was so different from others, is because it wasn't completely aligned with who you are or what you were going to do. So this is kind of like after you've had the awakening and you're realizing what you want to do and that you need to change things up. And that's actually your encouragement, is to just do it. I'm seeing some people who maybe you've, you know, studied here, or you've had your life established in one country and it's time to go and do that in another country, or hit the road or travel. You might decide to, you know, drop. I'm really getting a lot of students on this one, and it could just be students of life. Maybe you've been studying a different, you know, you've been studying to be a yoga teacher, or, you know, it could be different rankings of what you've been learning and studying. It could be you studying to be a business owner, as I've said. But this is where there could be a move, and like an actual physical move across country or travel or something of that nature that is a concern. Now, what not to focus on, for those of you who have children, this is not saying to neglect your children. It's just saying that this situation is not hinged on that. So if you are worried about, school changes, or, you're changing a lifestyle, maybe there will be a different setup for schooling or something for the children. Once you make your decision, you might go from being stay at home to being on the road more, different things like that. I see that all working out okay, because it's saying this is what you don't need to worry about right now, is concerns about children or anything that is changing. So if you're worried about, okay, but it was this way in the past, am I gonna disturb things? Is this negative karma? Is this the right path for me? What you are blazing to do right now, like, that is your passion. And I'm joking because I think or I'm laughing because I just heard this like joke, and I think that some of you might be going into like the cannabis industry, or like, it made me think of that app GoPuff that was made by students, and they have like all these munchy stuff on there, and they've really expanded it, and I actually really like it. I'm like, can I have an affiliate link? And they don't do that yet, but there's a bunch of good stuff on there. So I definitely see some entrepreneurs where it's like, just do what it is that you like and what you love, and that's what you should literally be focusing on. The Knight of Wands, like, he can Airbnb it. He can hit the road and travel and all of these kind of things, but life works out for him. It's very fire sign, Sagittarian energy. It's like Aries when they're on the go. Jupiter is in Sagittarius right now, and that is the energy that you're supposed to embody right now. Also, if you've been faced with a move, this is not to worry about it. It's really meant. I do feel like a lot of you are meant to be very active and up and moving with your finances. Your advice also is to invest in yourself at this time. And so if you have to make the decision to maybe downsize, I can definitely see some of you are like, man, I was on this road to this picket fence, and the huge house and what you're supposed to do, but that just doesn't fit me. I can definitely see some of you deciding to maybe sell a house, or get rid of some possessions that, again, this is in line with your passion. So it's not where you don't want to and then you have to, but this is like downsizing, even if it's putting it, storing it for a bit, so that you feel free and you can go out and make the moves that you need to without worrying about, like, oh, but I've accumulated all of this, up to this point, and what am I going to do with it, kind of energy. So kind of freeing yourself. He has enough that he's protected. He has his way lit, so he's listening to that instinct and that intuition. He has a shark tail for a mermaid, so he's definitely prepared, but it is saying to trust yourself on that new wave of the journey. Okay. All right, so I hope this is helpful. I'm going to go ahead and move on to number 3. I'll see you on another reading if you chose more than one question for this one. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. All right, so for those of you who chose the Sea Urchin Spine, we have, your situation is the 4 of Swords. Look at I love that all the snow animals around her, because she's just like protected and like respected as she's sleeping. Protected and respected. I should make a shirt. 2 of Wands is what matters right now, what you should focus on. And what doesn't matter right now is the 9 of Pentacles. I think these readings are so funny because they're financial and they're like, oh, the money doesn't matter. But quite often, people who really get aligned with bringing in safety, security, abundance, prosperity, money, they say that, you read their books and they're like, it's about the money, it's about the mindset and the energy and the ethic, like the work ethic, to get into that space. And then it will just come to you once you're in that flow. So for those of you who chose number 3, your situation right now is kind of at rest. So you might be in a period of time where maybe there's an impasse, like maybe there has been all of this financial stuff going around, and even if there's been like litigation and paperwork and all this kind of stuff, and for right now you have this pause time. Now it's not going to be a long pause, so I definitely suggest that you don't procrastinate if you have things that are due, and you have a little bit of a grace period. This is like, hurry up and decide what you want to do before the grace period is over, and that is what matters most, is you choosing which path you want to take or how you want to handle this situation. I feel like Spirit has tried to like give you a time of rest and peace, and it might not feel like that, because sometimes when we have times that we're supposed to sit back and not work so hard, we're like, oh my god, yeah, but I can't rest because I'm worried about my finances. But it's like, that's what Spirit was trying to do, was to get you to chill. Like, look, oh my gosh, get you to chill. She's in ice, right? literally, they're like, chill out, we got you, we're right here, we're kind of blending into the surroundings, right? All the animals, you have bear, you have rabbit, you have fox. And so they're like, we're here, we're protecting you, we're looking over you, we're having your back to find different opportunities, right? That's Fox, how to go in and out of the world. And that's what to focus on right now. So you have the Two of Wands, and he is on his little, he's actually in his little barrier there in his little underwater kingdom. So that's a tower for him, on at the top of his tower from his underwater kingdom. And he's looking at this volcano and kind of reading the signs and deciding what he wants to do, and if it's time to expand maybe his journey or his empire, or I don't think that mermaids are colonistic, but but kind of expand his world and his horizons and try out some new things. And so this message for you, because that's what matters right now, is to really consider your options, because in the past you've really gotten to the place where you maybe even shut down from stress, like you just get exhausted, you're tired, you just want to sleep and nap, like you physically don't even have or mentally don't even have energy to process everything that's happening. You might even have extreme body temperature, like one minute you're very frustrated and your body's just running hot, and the next minute you're cold and you're shivering, you're catching a cold. So it's like, it's really taking a lot out of you to try to stay calm during this situation and figure everything out. And so with this one here, we have allowing yourself to, like, he's broken the ice, he's come through, and he's deciding what he wants to do. Now, wands relate to business, so you guys might actually have some business opportunities, and this is looking like a wand too, and it's a spine, right? So it's having that courage and that strength to make the decisions that you want, having that backbone, and this always feels very Capricornian to me. So having that backbone to say, okay, I'm going to make a decision, and I trust that I am making the one for my long-term security, or just the one that's right now, because maybe I will pivot, I will change paths, but I trust myself in the decision that I'm going to make. Now, some of you, I feel like you have the choice of whether to stay in your current situation or choose another option. Some of you are in the place where you have to decide, are you going to make other options happen? But that's the headspace that Spirit wants you to be in. They want you to be in that headspace where you're saying, like, these are not my only options. This isn't all I have going for me. I have a lot more going for me. And if I don't, I'm going to make options. So they say, like, when you're looking for a home, for instance, go and look at, like, all the open houses that you see. Go check out all the different houses. Even if you have a particular type, look at other ones, because you'll discover things that you didn't know, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that these kind of windows exist, and I love that. And so it gives you people who know how to window shop for manifesting, it like opens your energy field. And I know some people hate that. Usually they have Taurus in their chart, and they're like, I don't want to go and look at stuff if I can't buy it, if I can't have it. But it's a good way. And so here, that's that energy, is to open yourself up to possibilities and seek them out. Some of you might even have been reasonably content for a while, but there's the idea that more could be done with your finances, or that you could expand into better utilizing what you have and not be so stagnant. So the Four of Pentacles, if we think about it, it starts with the Four of Swords, right? Once we kind of stagnate in the mind and we start closing down mentally what we can do with our finances and our security and our safety and how we can share that, if we start closing down mentally with that, we will start doing it with our finances also in the real world, and we'll end up in a Four of Pentacles, which then usually leads to the Five of Pentacles situation. So here, for those of you who are pretty content, there's the energy to, like, diversify your funds, or go out and find other things that you can do, other situations. Maybe you see some natural disasters, or you see different things that you can help change and improve and work on in the world. And the energy here of what everyone in number 3, what doesn't matter for you guys right now when it comes to your financial decisions, is overly worrying about your own personal security. So you might be like, oh, I want to take these risks, or oh, I want to help other people now because I got mine and I want to help others. But then you're starting to think about, well, I don't want to lose mine. Like, man, I need to have my bag. I need to have my Nine of Pentacles. I need, right? because you're afraid of losing the Nine of Pentacles. Well, what's going to happen if you become afraid of losing the Nine of Pentacles is you're going to go into a place of scarcity. Everything's going to close down for you, and you're going to lose the opportunity to even help others, right? So that's kind of a message here, is to maintain that openness, whether you are on the side of it where you are secure and you have your Nine of Pentacles already, or whether you're on the side of it where you really don't and you've been needing help from others. Maybe keep that openness of knowing that you can go from having and having not and back and forth, and that, you know, it's kind of like everything is open. So let me make the best decisions that I can, that are aligned with me, that align with my vision, that feel like the best opportunity, that feel like the perfect mix of taking care of myself but integrating the outside world. You know, he's not closing down to the outside world and ignoring the, you know, the troubles or the opportunities or whatever of things around. He's taking it all in and making an informed decision on what path is the perfect blend and balance for him. And I think that's beautiful, and that's really amazing. So that's really the headspace that Spirit wants you to be in. So don't worry and be in this mindset of like, oh, well, my wishes haven't come true, my manifestation hasn't come true, you know, and then it goes into resentment, like, well, I just wanted to give anyway, and these people don't, and why do they get their Nine of Pentacles? Like, this goes into a very stagnant, you know, kind of creepy, mean, intrusive energy. If we really let ourselves get carried away, it can go into a very shameful energy of, well, why don't I, and why do they, and, you know, so this is saying, or, you know, why do I have to give and why not? So no, it's like, to maintain a Nine of Pentacles, you have to stay in that place of openness. Okay, the universe brought me a financial situation I can help others out with. Let me go ahead and do that. It doesn't matter, you know, it's, yes, you take care of yourself with that, in that, and find balance, but it's that idea that you will be taken care of. So, you know, each of us, no matter how much, you know, when you grow up below the poverty line, you see some of the most generous people in the world, right? So they have nothing, but they will still give and share, and that somehow it will come back around, and it does, and you find a way of taking care of each other, and it balances. And that's also what I'm seeing to seek out in your financial situations of partnerships. You know, maybe it's not always that one person has a ton and they can always sponsor you, but focus on those moment-to-moment interactions with people who really connect with you and support you energetically and hold your vision for you, and who don't feel entitled to own you, right? Because I've seen people who really, they get put on, you know, their social media blows up, but they have these kind of followers and viewers who have this like, well, we made it for you, and meh, 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 meh. And they feel like they own that person. They feel like they own all of their energy. And so there's, you know, this is a card of Aries. It's about free will. It's about choosing. The next card is the Three of Wands, right? So this is where you're sending out that signal and reading the signals from others of what connects with me and is my best fit, so that you can get that Three of Wands to come in. And that is more important than just, oh, I'm going to get what I can get, right? I'm going to, you know, I don't care about who this person is and how they are in my community or my spiritual group or whatever, as long as I'm getting what I need to get. That's not the mindset that you're meant to have right now. You're supposed to really feel, you know, connected. A lot of the readings have this feeling that, you know, stay in your passions, stay in your lane. And now envision your lane opening up, envision your road opening up, envision your crossroads or your opportunities presenting themselves, instead of jumping into someone else's lane or kind of feeling like you got a carpool, piggyback someone else just to get what you need to get, right? That's not how it's going to come to you. It's going to come from you doing you in a very authentic way. And that's pretty badass. I like that. So I'm reading this a lot, right? So this is a little Snapchat. We're just going to stop it there. I want it to be as concise as possible. So I hope this resonated with you. Let me know. Maybe you picked a few readings. Let me know how it feels or applies for you if you'd like to. And please comment, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I will see you either on another one of these options or in the next video. Thank you. And now, last but not least, we have number 4 with the Conch Shell. Little Conch Shell. I forget what this particular one is called. We have the Knight of Swords reversed as your situation, your financial situation. We have the Page of Wands reversed as what matters right now. And we have the Three of Swords as what does not matter. Okay? Ooh, whenever we can be told to not worry about our Three of Swords situation. That's good, right? I'm sorry that we're having Three of Swords situations in this, but okay. So your situation right now, there could definitely be some kind of disputes, again, some litigations, paperworks. There could be, you know, eviction notices or debates about who's going to get promoted and who qualifies, things of that nature. Some of you might have put forth for a loan or a big purchase of some sort that you're waiting for, and it's, you know, needing to get that clarity on it. Like, how is this going to turn out for me? Some of you have just been in a lot of different headspaces when it comes to your finances and not knowing, you know, either maybe even your own morals on finances and like what it means to you and what that vibration means to you and what your ideals are about money in general or being financially secure. But with the Knight of Swords upright, this is good because this means the crusade is over. You're starting to come to terms either with the other party or with, you know, really getting clear on your own vision and feeling like you can resonate with what it means to you to be financially secure. And that's good because until you do that, then it's, you know, it's hard to really get a clear path or vibration to tap into and really start accruing that for yourself and having some sort of safety and security. So that's the Knight of Swords. Now, in what matters right now for you to focus on, we have the Page of Wands reversed. So I feel like right now what matters is that you find a balance between being completely ignorant of your finances and ignoring them and being very like a procrastinator about them, or doing the opposite where you're just like, bam, here we go, pay for this, don't pay for that, and you're just like, whatever, like, I don't care, spend money. Like, my last $5, but I'm gonna live large on it and buy this gigantic pickle, like, just you know what I mean? You can go into that place where you're just so stressed about finances you don't even know, you're just like, whatever, I need to spend this money, it's burning a hole in my pocket, I don't know how to maintain it, I don't know how to be responsible for it, I need to get rid of it. And so right now the thing to focus on and what really matters is getting a hold on that energy where you can be energized enough to handle your finances and do a lot of creative, inspired, instinctual financing and handling of people and situations when you need to have like a little chutzpah and put your foot down and be like, look, I need help in this financial situation, or I know that I can, you know, qualify for this loan or aid or whatever it is. And then, but also not going so over the top where, you know, the Page of Wands could be crazy. The Page of Wands can just be like, you know, it's like almost throwing fireworks at someone, right? You're just like, oh my God, I want what I want. I know I was crazy, but give me what I want. So some of you are just out here manifesting like that, just crazy all over the place, and it doesn't make sense because then you change your mind and then they're just like, what is going on? Like the spirit world is just watching you run around in circles, like setting stuff on fire all around them, and they're like, what? Like, what does this mean? Like, what are they even doing? Like, what is you doing, boo? Like, I don't understand. And I feel like for a lot of you, that's how, like, if you're interacting with somebody who is trying to make a decision for you, they might be like, what is going on? One moment, this person seems like, you know, very spunky and trustworthy and like very all in, and the next minute it's like they disappear, they don't call me back, there's no communication, I don't know what's going on. And so that's the thing to focus on, is not burning yourself out financially and maintaining that courage, because some of you it's only when you feel like really good about yourself or when you feel very active that you can handle your finances productively. So if you have gone through a time where you've been feeling a little bit maybe emotional or kind of down, or you haven't, just literally it could be just being active. Like if you haven't gone out anywhere for a few days and stuff, you can completely have a different mindset when it comes to your finances and handling that than if you had just been like running errands and feeling accomplished, like up and doing tasks and doing things and connecting with others. So it's very important that you maintain kind of a social life and an active life, and that you're setting small goals for yourself. The Page of Wands is like a young Aries. Like they really need to see consistent small results, because people have this idea like Aries don't like to learn, or that fire signs don't, but they're really intelligent. They love to learn. Like that's something I do with like all my fire sign friends. It's just like they love philosophy, they love, you know, big, huge concepts, tons of things. Like they know the most random things and they teach themselves, but they need to see constant reward. They need to be like, okay, I learned this. Let me see a positive feedback, or let me have a challenge that I surmounted, right? And so I feel like that's how it is for you financially. You have to set small goals for yourself that you can reach. Maybe even do things that are very modern too, like have apps that help you focus on your financial goals, or that make it easier for you to do business transactions. And this is something that I've learned, because it would be so hard. Like I didn't want to do like some of you might have a little bit of that rebel in you where you don't want to work with certain institutions, you're boycotting certain banks or just certain things. And so find ways to get yourself paid and to make that easier and quicker for you. I do see a lot of you thriving a lot easier if you go to online resources for things that are quick and easy, and then boom, here's my sheet. Oh, here's what came in, here is what went out. I don't have to balance a checkbook, I don't have to do all of this other stuff. It's just simple, it's here, it's easy, it's on my phone, I can check it right now. And so yeah, it's totally okay. It still qualifies as being an awesome adult to make things easier for yourself. And part of that also comes with addressing things when they come to you, which means opening your mail, opening your bills. I do a thing where if I feel like something might be negative mail or like a bill that I don't want to deal with, I open everything outside my house. And it might sound crazy, but it helps me like alleviate some of that energy. So I'll open it outside. If it's just complete, like it doesn't matter, I can get rid of it then before I come in. If it's necessary, I'll bring it in and I'll put it on my altar, and might even do a candle working for it or something, just to help me alleviate that pressure and that energy and stay in that kind of spunky space, right? Because I really relate to this energy here. So that's just what I do. But if there's little things you can do to help, pick up your energy, you could keep your bills with like an aventurine stone or signs of good luck and fortune, so that instead of feeling overwhelmed, you're like, oh yeah, I'm lucky in this is being taken care of. Let me do that email right now. Let me answer this right now, and just get, take steps to get into that space. Now, what you don't need to focus on, what doesn't matter right now, is the Three of Swords. So this is really big. So what doesn't matter is kind of other people's opinion of your finances and transactions. And that might be hard, because you're like, well, I'm dependent on what my landlord says, whether I can stay, or, it depends on what this financial aid office says, whether I can get these student loans. Or whatever it is. But here it's kind of saying to we have a whale. This is a really sad card, I'm sorry. We have a whale here, and they're crying, and this is like that there's other things for you to be concerned on. You have bigger, I don't want to say fish to fry when there's like that's what's coming to my head, but there's like a dead whale, so I feel bad. But there's bigger concerns, right? Then, does this person believe me? Do they understand my struggle? Do they get me, right? So right now there will be a time and place for that. Like I said, I think some of you are kind of like, you're maybe activists, or there's real reasons, like you're trying, you've had to really bust your chops to get where you're at. But sometimes we just have to understand that others, like the Knight of Swords reverse, could really just see things like, okay, that's interesting gossip, but this is like a Libra card, like, okay, so that's a nice story, but like, where's my money? Like, where? Okay, so it's kind of like, watch who you trust your story with, and you can't overly look from empathy from like institutions or people who are wanting money from you, things like that. And that's okay, because you're embodying this Page of Wands who's like, fine, I don't give up. They say what they, Page of Wands says what they can handle others caring or not caring about, right? So they're like, yeah, I'll say this because I want to, not because I'm dependent on your opinion. And that's a really good way to go right now. Because sometimes it's not going to be there. So if that is a particular strategy that you've been still, and I don't want to say strategy in a negative way, but we gotta, we have to be a little bit strategic when trying to navigate, this financial system that can be incredibly daunting and unfair sometimes. You might have to really go and say, hey, like, I'm, this is why I've had trouble on my mortgage, and this is what's been going on. It's better if you can keep it lighter and focus on the facts and focus on what you are proactively doing, versus overly telling kind of the tales of what's going on, because I feel like some of you have been through some real stuff and then you're very sensitive about it, which is why this energy hasn't been there. However, if you come at that level to people, they're not going to honor it in that energy that it deserves to be held in, and then that's going to discourage you further and make you feel like you can't accomplish the things you want financially. So this is a time to not discard that to yourself, but you know, it's just not what you want to put forth in your financial situations. Or if you're kind of if you're doing a post to let people know about, even if you're crowdfunding or something like that, it's kind of like, try to keep it focused on what you're accomplishing, what you are doing, your confidence, and what you figured out logistically, and what you're building moving forward, what you have to offer versus the things in the past. You don't want to overly focus on those at this time. This is also too, if you are sitting here now, I do see some people where it's like child support or legalities around children and finances, and the message here is to not focus on trying to attack the other party or to say, well, they hurt us, this. That's not what you need to focus on right now. What you need to focus on is what the child needs in the situation moving forward, or what you need to get into recovery. So even if it's like, you know, and please take your legal counsel. This is just for some you know, interesting things to mull over for your spirit, right? But you know, if you're like, well, I'm doing this case about workers' comp or something, it is more to focus on, look, I need this to get back up and running. I'm trying to accomplish these things in my life. That is more what to focus on, versus to say, go into like the pain and the trauma, and this is how I was crying, and this is how I was feeling, and this is the, no, kind of be like, you know what, I know I deserve this. I don't have to be a bleeding heart to you in your face. Like, this is, you know, this happened, I need this is what I need to accomplish, and I need to have this funding to do so. So having a little bit more forward direction, and yeah, that fire sign energy of like, I'm here, I deserve it, I'm moving forward, like, you know, and you might even have to put others on pause for a minute, right? Because Knight of Swords can get carried away. It's, excuse me, I'm moving as fast as I can. There might be some potential delays. I'm on top of it. So that's a good way to handle it, right? Embody that energy of, I got this handled. So I hope these helped. Let me know if you liked this reading. I have a lot of spreads myself, and I'll have some announcements and things, but that I create, and a lot of things. But I also really always love, as you guys probably know, to shout out other readers and their creations and books and all this kind of stuff. So yes, I enjoy looking through and getting little insights. I have some larger spreads I'd like to try as well from this book. So let me know if you enjoyed that, and if you enjoy mixing up the different formats of the pick a card, because I love all things tarot, and I really do. So let me know how you feel and resonate with things, how the readings related to you, or if you like this style of financial advice, and I will talk to you soon.